I'm aware that this news story came out a little over a month ago, but I kind of wanted to wait a bit, kind of let everything soak in, kind of like to see what the reaction was to this news, like what other studios would do, how everyone would respond to this, and eventually, and also I kind of wanted to cool down from the news because this news kind of made me angry at first when I first read it, and now I guess I'm going to talk about it. So, last month, Warner Brothers made a shocking announcement in that they were going to put all their 2020 movies, not just in theaters, but on HBO Max simultaneously for free for 30 days, and then only for theaters afterwards, and then back at home, I guess. And when I first heard this news, I was angry. I was honestly mad because it just felt like another nail in the coffin for movie theaters. Like, movie theaters closing, movies delayed, movies put on PVOD, movies that are just, just like Mulan being put on Disney Plus for an additional price. And this one was like those were all just like tiny nails in the coffin, and now these are like multiple nails in the coffin, unfortunately. Now, Warner Brothers is planning on releasing a bunch of their movies in 2021, including Dune, The Matrix 4, Godzilla vs. Kong, Conjuring 3, Suicide Squad, Mortal Kombat, a whole bunch of movies. Now, this is not really an indictment to say, oh, Warner Brothers, I'll see all your movies in theaters. This is, honestly, like, I look at half those movies and I'm like, you know what, I can see those movies at home and I'll be fine. Like, there are a couple movies on that list where I'm like, no, I kind of want to see that on the big screen. Like, I would prefer seeing Dune on the big screen. I would kind of like to see Matrix 4 on the big screen. Maybe even Conjuring 3 even. But I do not want to go to a theater to see Tom and Jerry. That's all I'll say about that. And this all kind of started with Wonder Woman 1984. They announced a while back that they were going to do this plan where it's like, hey, we're going to release it on HBO Max at the same time when we release it in theaters on Christmas Day. And that had mixed results, as we all know, if you've seen Wonder Woman in 1984 at this point. And even before that movie came out, they were like, this is a successful idea. Let's do it for all our movies. And everyone flipped out. And everyone was mad. Like, everyone was mad, not just because they thought, oh, Warner Bros. Is going to kill the movie theaters. But a lot of the people who were involved with these movies were not told in advance. They at least told the people involved with Wonder Woman 1984, hey, this is what we're going to do with your movie. We're going to put it on HBO Max and in theaters at the same time. They couldn't go around to the other filmmakers and tell them that. They couldn't tell James Gunn, who directed The Suicide Squad. They couldn't go to Denis Villeneuve, who directed Dune. They couldn't go to anyone? Seriously? Like Denzel Washington, he's supposed to star in The Little Things, which is supposed to come out in January. He's not really doing a lot of promoting, but then again, there's a pandemic, so. And yes, I'm aware there's a lot of worse issues out there right now. There's a global pandemic. There are idiots protesting the election. And I know there are worse things out there, but this is a movie-related channel, and this is what I'm talking about, so. And, also why these filmmakers are mad is, they're not going to get paid the same as they would if it was in theaters. They're going to get paid a lot less. Legendary is upset about this, especially because they helped co-produce movies like Godzilla vs. Kong and Dune. And, again, for that reason, they're not going to be paid as much. Timothy Chalamet, who stars in Dune, wore a Legendary t-shirt or hoodie while he was hosting Saturday Night Live at one point. And it's kind of, as a symbol of solidarity for the studio. And again, I kind of wanted to wait a bit after this news came out because I wanted to see what other studios would do as well. Particularly Disney, because around this time, about a week later, Disney had their Investor Day where they announced what they're going to do with movies, what new movies they're planning. And I was kind of interested in seeing, are they going to do this? Are they going to put all their movies on Disney Plus? Are they going to put, Black Widow, Shang-Chi, Eternals, Jungle Cruise, all their 2021 movies on Disney Plus for a premium fee, or in the case like Soul, for free? And it turns out, no. They're just going to put Raya and the Last Dragon on there, and it's going to be premium. It's going to be like Mulan. Let's just hope it's better than Mulan. There are rumors that Black Widow might do it too. We'll wait and see about that. And, it kind of got me thinking about a few things. Are other studios planning on doing this? Well, if Universal gets desperate enough, are they going to try to do this plan as well with their new streaming service Peacock? Because, I don't know, because they got a lot of big movies, like Fast 9, Minions. Personally, I would not like to see either of those movies, but I kind of have to. And it just... And also, like, with Paramount, they sold all their movies to Netflix with the exception of, like, A Quiet Place 2 and Top Gun and SpongeBob, I think. Would they put all their movies on CBS All Access, which is just going to become Paramount Plus? Sony doesn't have a streaming service. The Crackle doesn't count. So they also said, we're not going to release our big blockbusters during the pandemic. So you're not going to see No Time to Die, Ghostbusters, Morbius, Venom 2. Not going to see them. Not at all, unfortunately. So it kind of got me thinking more about, like, movie theaters and, like, how they can handle this and, like, how, these streaming services, how they basically can kind of, like, combine, like, kind of make a compromise in some way where they win some and they lose some both at the same time. Now, movie theaters are struggling right now. Movie theaters are going away. I know they're going away eventually. And again, I wished it didn't happen as fast as it did. But, like, in movie theaters right now, the ones that are open at least, they're not doing as well because there's not a lot of product out there who's going to want to release their big movies in a time when, large crowds are strongly discouraged. And at the same time, HBOMAX, again, they didn't tell anyone. They didn't tell movie theaters, and movie theaters are very strict about that. They're like, hey, we don't like playing our movies that are also on Netflix. Like, if you remember, they didn't want to show The Irishman or Marriage Story. Like, the big chains didn't want to show either of those movies. And they just play it on Netflix. So, and if a studio's going to do that for their entire slate, that's not good news for them. And here's the thing. There needs to be a compromise in some ways, because movie theaters are being too strict with their rules, but at the same time, it seems like all these streamers are kind of being too carefree, and they kind of need to have the best of both worlds, I would say. Like, movie theaters and, like, streaming and home release, right now there's about, like, a 12-week gap in between them, so it's like, let's say a movie is released now, and then it can go to digital in, like, early April, and then on like, Blu-ray mid-April. I think that should change, even after this pandemic. Like, okay, if you have a movie that's, like, not doing so well, it's like, okay, we're going to put it in theaters, say, on this date. And if it does moderately well, okay, we're going to put it on streaming about 6 weeks later. And then home, and then, like, on Blu-ray and 4Ks and such, about 6 weeks after that as well. Hopefully, like, at this point, I'm just, like... I don't enjoy streaming as much as I enjoy going to the movies. I think that's obvious at this point. But I don't know, I'm just kind of... I've been trying to do, like, a lot of thinking about this, and I'm like, obviously movie theaters are not really the safest place to be, but at the same time, I'm hoping movie theaters are really doing really well with, like, keeping up with cleanliness and keeping people safe. I haven't really heard about a lot of outbreaks from, like, movie theaters, but who knows? Hopefully people get vaccinated. That's all I'll say. So, overall, I feel like this Warner Brothers deal is definitely very revolutionary. But I'm afraid it's revolutionary for all the wrong reasons. I'm afraid this might actually be it. This might actually be the end of movie theaters. And... again, I'm not ready for that. I was expecting, like, another few years of movie theaters, and now be lucky if we even have a few more months. Man, that's sad. So, what are your thoughts on Warner Brothers releasing all their movies on HBO Max and in theaters at the same time? Comment down below, subscribe to the channel. This is Pat, and stay safe. I'm gonna try to throw out all my Warner Brothers movies now. Bye-bye.